Yo, what up? It's Rev. I make music as summer starved. In today's video, I want to do a quick little something that was inspired by a podcast episode that I recorded recently with the great Cyrus Brooks. He's an artist, rapper, producer, graphic designer, all around Renaissance man. And one of the things that he said as a creative kind of nugget was, why don't you just sample yourself? You end up making a track and then using it to sample, which I thought was cool. I ended up doing that a lot already in my own workflow, but I thought it would be kind of cool just to experiment with it. So here is a little clip of us talking about it, and then I'll jump into Ableton and put it into practice.
And so now it's like, even now I don't sample other people's music anymore. I sample myself. Or
It's a game changer.
I'll literally make an entire song for the purpose of sampling it. Like if I want to sample something that sounds like Sly and the Family Stone, I'll just make a track like 32 bars of a song that's random. You know what I mean? And then just sample myself off of that, and then just play with that. So
I love that, man. Hey, welcome to Ableton. I got a little gate going on here just because, I work from home with my wife. She's on a Zoom call. I'm in a bedroom studio DIYing it. So, we work with what we got, man. So what I want to start off with is maybe just, I have this cool sampled piano. Let's see. Yeah, so I actually sampled this Yamaha piano. I call it Yamaha Grand Piano Love. So I'll go down an octave and just play a few chords that I can then later chop up to sample. I got a few things that I'll use to just liven up the sound. Put a little shapeshifter. A great $20 plugin. Check it out. I'm in love with these guys. So they also make the Sketch Cassette 2, which I'll bring up here. Again, another great $20 plugin. Do a little Sound Toys radiator. Heat it up a bit. Get the metronome going. A great little hack, if you hit Command K or Control K in Ableton, it opens up the key mapping. In key mapping, you can also hit this little button up here, your top right, key mapping. And now, basically, you can have multiple different things mapped to different keys on your QWERTY keyboard. So here I have lowercase r mapped to record, metronome mapped to lowercase m, and actually my tap tempo, as you can see down here, is mapped to the letter P. So I can tap in the tempo as I want here. Just a quick tool, really helpful for workflow. So I'll hit M, metronome at 100, and I'll just start, riffing. Cool. So I got a little something there. If I open up this MIDI channel, and you'll see how it sounds. Sometimes when you play, if you zoom in real close, you can see that it won't play. I'll turn off the metronome for now. These notes actually are not quite lined up with the beginning of it. So I'll move it there. Cool. So a lot of times what I'll do, just right click, freeze that. Yep, it froze it. Okay, and then I can actually just flatten it. So as you see, if I open this up, all those plugins I put on it, the sample instrument, they're all gone. Now I just have this audio of what I just played. You can control the metronome over here, bottom right corner, next to the master selector. This little button. Cool. So now I have like this decent little piece of audio. So what I want to do here is actually just start a new MIDI track. So you can just go right up here insert MIDI track, and then it'll give you the quick key here. So now I have this MIDI track, and what I'm going to do is actually open up this instrument called the sampler, which is the little brother to the sampler, but I use this thing all the time. I'll actually grab this audio from the first track, this one here, track 1, Yamaha Grand, and then I'll just label this piano chop. Beautiful. So I'm just going to drag literally that piece of audio into this sampler. And now if I play up and down the keyboard, there's 3 different versions. Okay, so this is just playing it actually chromatically up the keyboard as I'm playing it. So that's one way. Could do that, but what I want to do is actually slice it. And this sets it up so that you can go back into the original piece of audio and start chopping up pieces of what you played. And as you see, these little bars here are actually representing kind of these little pieces of the chop. And that's a little too much for me. So what I like to do is slice by transient and then go to beat. So what I want to do is actually get each one of those chops into one. So I'm just going to go slice by bar. And as you see, there's less. And I want to get those chop marks right on, so I can kind of move these as I want. So if I play it into the keyboard now, let's see, that's the first one, third one. So I'm just kind of playing up and down the keyboard and just getting with these chops right where I want them. That's a cool chord. Did a little roll there. Here you have this little fade in, and so the tack is less. Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, now I should have a camera mode of me with the push too. Shout out to Alma Dogma letting me borrow this beautiful thing just to kind of understand it and learn it a bit. So we now have like basically all of our bars chopped up into these beautiful little grids. So I'll just start a clip here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and so what I just played in should now, I opened up this little thing here, and that's way too much information for old Revy to compute. So Ableton put in this little fold button, which is amazing. So now only the audio, or only the MIDI I just played shows up in the clip. Okay, so I'll just start a new drum rack thing. I actually try without the metronome, just get a little feel. See what we can do. What you're seeing here is now that drum clip that I just did actually has its MIDI spilled out onto this clip. And as I've clicked on that, now I can see what I played. And you can tell right here, way off the beat, but that's kind of how I do it. So what I would like to do a lot of times now is just click this little button here, which you can actually hear these notes. Okay, and then this is way too hot. So I'm actually hovering over this. Now that I've clicked it here, I can hover and hit Command or Control, and it turns into this little cursor that actually controls the velocity. Select them all, quantize them a bit. Cool, so what I'm going to do here actually is freeze that track and then do a similar thing, flatten it. So now I have this little audio, and I can open up a new MIDI track and use the sampler yet again, which is something I do quite often. So let me pull that up. It's a little soft, so what I'll do is just take this little gain knob and bring it up. Go back to slice mode. And then change it to kind of beats. We'll just riff with it, man, because that's what we do. and then just start messing around. And then I'll just kind of move this one here to there. Cool. So then I'll actually delete the original kind of little drum thing I did. Just start messing around, see what happens. Choppy, funky, weird. My vibe. This is really bad, but that's kind of the idea. You can get it. Now I'm going to play this back so we can hear what's happening here. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Okay, cool. I just like that right there. So what I'm going to do is just grab that and then Command L just to loop it. Right click it, and this is great. Crop clip. So all those other parts that were not what I wanted are now gone. Yeah, so that was my attempt to sample myself. Forgive my whack-attack finger drumming skills, but hopefully you can use that as a creative way to start something new in your own project. Record yourself, flatten it, make it audio, and then chop it up to a way that is a brand new way of looking at your song. So, word, hope that helps. Comment, like, subscribe, love me, send me flowers. Peace, y'all. Keep making noise.